Boy, the wasps are terrible already, and we're not even into summer. I think it's going to be a banner year for raid and pest control. Speaking of things that sting, have you been watching this Eric Swalwell saga? Here he was, the big release the Epstein Files guy, the let's hold perverted scoundrels accountable crusader. And I agree with him. We should do that. Swalwell was a darling for the Democrats, a supposed frontrunner in the California governor's race. At least he was until this juicy scandal broke. But the interesting thing isn't that the scandal surfaced, it's how it surfaced. Now, there's a lot of chatter that the Democratic Party itself set these wheels in motion. There's no smoking gun evidence of that, but it is highly suspect. Let me explain why. California has a top two primary. It's a bit of a weird system unless you realize it's designed to make it nearly impossible for Republicans to gain ground. Everyone runs on one ballot, and only the top two finishers advance to November, regardless of party. With a crowded field of 8 candidates, Swalwell was leading the Democrats, but he was getting hammered by 2 Republicans, Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco. The Republicans were consolidating their support. The Democrats, they were fractured, divided, and bleeding out. This posed a nightmare scenario for the DNC. A general election with 2 Republicans and 0 Democrats on the ballot. It's never happened before, but the math was screaming that it could. Steve Hilton wasn't just winning, he was pummeling Swalwell. Hilton was pulling 18% while Swalwell was stuck at a paltry 9%. Even the second Republican, Chad Bianco, was sitting at 14%. If those numbers held, Swalwell wouldn't just lose, the entire Democratic Party would be locked out of the governor's mansion. The party didn't create the scandal, but word on the street is they've known about it for a long time. They held it back. Why? Because in politics, you keep your mouth shut and hope you can win anyway. You deal with the mess after you've secured the seat. But when you're not winning, you have to fix the math. Swalwell wasn't convincing enough to clear the field, so he had to go. It was time to release the Kraken, or in this case, tell the witnesses it's okay to talk and let those videos finally leak. You know, the ones they've been quietly holding on to just in case. Politics is a dirty business, and let's be real, these scandals seem to have a permanent home on one side of the aisle more than the other, but I digress. You'd think these guys would keep their noses clean, knowing that everyone, even their own party, is gunning for them, but maybe they just can't. Maybe being corruptible is just part of the job description. Even with Swalwell gone, the odds say we'll still see 1 Democrat on the ballot, but that 8% chance of an all-Republican finale had the establishment shaking. Did the Democrats tank their own frontrunner to save the party? The evidence is leaning toward yes. One thing is for sure, the race for California just got a lot more interesting. The wasps are out, the stings are landing, and in California, it's not just the weather that's getting heated, it's the house cleaning. We might even see a Republican in the governor's mansion for the first time in 15 years. Of course, that may have nothing to do with Swalwell and everything to do with Gavin Newsom, but we'll see how this goes.